Oh, Echo.
What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and I'm back with episode 38 of the Spring Trap. And today we have some amazing guests with us here on the channel. One that's not a guest, but more like a co-host, is my boy Clash Bashing. Above me, we have the jacked and newly, bearded Clash Attacks with Joe. And we have the Clash of Clans master up in the top left. I'm talking about Itsu. Bash, what's up, brother? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I got to eat some chocolate cake, so my life is doing well. Got to get
Yes.
the spring trap going, so no complaints here, bud. Joe, how you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful. It's actually great to be here with you guys. What was it? You guys did a show like 2 weeks ago. I watched the show and I was like, you know what? It's time to come back. What about you, Itsu?
I'm doing fine as well, even though it's kind of late over here.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here on the show.
It's great to have you, man. 4 a.m. over there for Itsu, and yeah, Joe was actually, he hit me up. He's like, I watched the Spring Trap, and then like a few days later, he's like, I think I'm gonna come back and do Clash. I don't know if we actually had something to do with that. I like to think that we do, though. It kind of makes me feel good, but yeah, Joe, I'm stoked to have you back, man. We talked a little bit a while ago. Put a little teaser video out there for my audience, and I think that people are going to be excited that you came back to the scene, back to Clash of Clans. You wanna talk about it really quick before we get into stuff about why you decided to come back?
I mean, I never stopped playing. That was the thing. Like, I've always been casually playing, but when you have like a major life change, you can't really focus on this when this isn't necessarily the job at the time. You have to like
Yeah.
prioritize what's more important. So, I had to move. Oh, it was like 16 hours away, so I had to pack up my studio. I had the studio in the back of my truck for like 2 weeks. So it was like take a break, get my life together, and then once I watched the Spring Trap, and you guys were talking about diversity and all the other stuff in the game, and I was like, wait a minute, the game's actually like changed war wise. I'm gonna have to check this out, and that's really how it happened. So.
Well, we're stoked to have you back, man. And I want to remind everybody that's here in the live stream, in the chat, this episode, or actually every episode of The Trap, is solely controlled by you guys and the questions that you bring. So what we're going to do is just sit here in silence until the first question comes through in the chat, because that's basically how we plan on running the show.
It's too much for me.
So, but Joe, I'm stoked to have you. Itsu, what's going on, man? What's going on with you in the war scene? I mean, you're one of the most intense, best war attackers that I've seen in Clash of Clans. We actually got to meet in person, which was awesome as well. What's going on for DLZ and any clans you're participating in on the war scene? Are you just kind of casual off right now practicing? What are you guys up to?
So right now, since there is no CWL, it's more about CCL for DLZ and the GML, which is the German league for DLZ as well, and 11 Original, where I'm playing in. But at the same time, it's a lot about base building already for Dark Looters like DL. Since we will only play, at least that's the plan right now, we will only play in the Supercell event. So that will be hard, and at the same time it will be kind of like a job in that sense, because it's for money. So
There's $1 million on the line.
Yeah. I understand why you're putting your eggs in that basket, man, why you're focusing on that. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It does make sense. I want to say,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like $1 million on the line, and you're part of, like, the top 10 clans. Sorry to cut you off there, Echo. Like, do you feel any added pressure from that, Itsu? Like being one of the, I mean, I feel like Dark Looters is always kind of looked at as like one of the top clans, but with that big prize on the line, does it add more pressure with that big money? You know what I mean?
I don't think that it adds more pressure because of the money. It's more about the, like, there are more eyes watching you, so
Yeah.
it's obviously more pressure. So that's a huge thing, and there are so many new clans who you don't really know about so far. Like CWL is like a really small community in that sense. So all of the Asian, or most of the Asian clans, are not really participating. So that's completely different now with the championship on the line, which means all of the clans will try their best, and yeah, that will be a lot of fun.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that's
don't see
crazy stuff.
if you 3-star every time, man. I don't see where the stress comes from. I mean, what are you even worried about? Do you ever fail on an attack? So what? Just relax and do
I don't
what you
know. I
do all the
think
time.
when I fail, it's only based on bugs, so that's all.
We got a bunch
No,
of
I'm
heads
kidding.
popping in here now. I want to show some love to Corrupt, Scrappy Academy. We got Amy Nicole. I think I said Corrupt as well. Jim M's in the house. A bunch of friends came through here tonight to
I saw
support the show.
Carbon in
So
here also.
what's that? Carbon
Yeah.
Finn was here as well. Yep.
The,
So
the boy Carbon.
the boy Carbon. He was on our last episode. But thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate it. Shockwaves in the house as well. All right, so we did have some questions come through in the chat, and I'm going to take one that's sitting here right in front of me. I think 1 million will make things exciting and motivate an audience and players. Do you guys agree? I mean, obviously, I think that money on the line is a big deal, and it makes esports kind of a legit thing. What do you guys think about clans that are going to try to like beat the system and try and, you know, stack clans and make stuff like that? Like, what can you anticipate seeing, guys, with this whole, you know, competitive $1 million prize? Everyone's going to want to bring forth the best players that they can in one clan. So what are some issues you guys think we might run into?
Well, the ban waves are like the top thing right now, right? I mean,
Mm.
that's already been a pretty big thing where I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't want to confirm anything, but I'm pretty sure like a big chunk of some of the top clans have had players banned. So I feel like Supercell's doing a good job keeping on top of that. I don't know. Have you guys kind of heard anything about that, Joe Itsu?
Just account sharing is what I was being told, that they're cracking down on account sharing, doing that a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. That's actually kind of important, because you know, that's just, you could have the same guy attacking like 5 or 6 times, and then you try to bring him to the big stage, and they can't do that. So,
Right.
Yeah, good point. We
But
also
just
have
like, I think I heard a few numbers on my Discord, because we have a lot of, well, the German community is mostly supporting us, which means they always try to look us better than we actually are in that sense. So they try to search for banned accounts on the top clans, so we, like, in theory we could rank higher. So I think on the number 1 clan, someone said around 17 bans. Number 3 had around 5, and number 10 had around 3 or 5 as well around. So there were a couple of bans, yes.
That's crazy. Yeah, see, I heard like rumors about like, you know, some of the top clans getting bans, but I wasn't aware it was like those kind of numbers. That's absolutely nuts.
That
Yeah,
is
it's a
crazy.
lot, but you don't really know the reason always. So
Yeah, that's true.
could be like Joe said, account sharing. It could be gem things like the cheap gems, whatever. So it's a lot of different stuff.
Let me ask you guys a question, since we're brought up account sharing, and I saw a video from, I believe it was Halo Okraheads kind of brought this up, about people running multiple accounts in the same war. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that that shouldn't be allowed, especially for like the Supercell event, like the $1 million event? You know, say me, for instance, I have 2 Town Hall 12s. With it being one attack, I personally don't think for the Supercell CWL it should be an issue with one attack. But what do you guys have opinions on that? Do you think it shouldn't be a thing? Do you think it shouldn't be allowed? I don't know.
I mean, you gotta realistically think about it. You know, at the end of the day, the $1 million, it's a show. It's something they want us to tune in. So they got to have bodies to put up there to actually attack. You know, so if you have
That's true.
one guy that is, you know, taking up 3 accounts within a clan to attack, I mean, it's not going to be much of a show. You know, let's say Itsu, for instance, you're not going to put Itsu up there by himself to attack 3 different bases. It's just
I
no
mean,
show there.
I would watch that, Joe.
I would watch it. You know,
I would watch.
people that
I
are-
would watch Itsu run all 15 of them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But realistically, at the end of the day, they got to make money too. So it's, you know, they got to make their money off the show.
True.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I've been seeing so much hype. And when you go to Google Trends and you take a look at Clash of Clans, I feel like things are going up for Clash of Clans right now. And you still got the people saying that Clash is dead and all that stuff. But man, the implementation of ESL and the esports and everything, it's really putting Clash back on the scene. And I mean, we're seeing an upward trend since, I mean, from when the Builder Hall popped up 2 years ago to now. Things are looking pretty good for Clash, and I mean, I'm stoked. I'm sure that all of us are, being content creators for the game. It's definitely a good thing. Bash, why don't you scroll through and find some of the questions that we had coming in here? I don't have a notepad out today.
Now you tell me. All right, I'll go. I'll see what we can find.
I did see that we
here's a good
had.
one since we're kind of talking about account
Okay.
sharing and same person and whatnot. What if a player qualifies for the world tournament in 2 different clans, like Subix playing for DLZ and One Hive? So like how? I guess there's not really a question there, but how should that player be allowed to play both sides of that? Should that player be bound to one clan? What do you guys feel about that one? Like that kind of situation there.
Quick jersey switches on both sides of the table. If I don't know, do they have a rule about playing only in one clan, or are you allowed to play?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so that they have.
I don't think there's like any. I don't think there's like any rules as far as stuff like that goes. If there is, it's not really public.
No, I haven't seen it.
A random guess for me would be that it's not allowed because, like you said, they want to have a show.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you can't have, the guy coming on, taking off his, dark looter shirt. I'm over here now,
ripping it
guys.
off.
You can't do that. It can happen. I mean, I don't know if there's an actual rule against it, but if the 2 clans definitely, like, if they went to the finals, they wouldn't be able to compete in both. I don't know how that would go. But I mean, what is it with other esports like PUBG Mobile and stuff? You can't play in multiple teams.
Yeah, you're pretty much like bound to one team
Yeah.
as it would be. So it would probably have to be like one clan, I would imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Maybe it's not even an issue that they thought of yet. Maybe they just thought that everyone would be playing in their one clan. I don't know. It's a good question we could bring up to them, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a lot of money on the line for them to actually play fair.
It's true. I feel like there's. I mean,
$1
you would think that they would have, things in the works to kind of prevent stuff like that from happening, but you never know. You never know. I'm trying to find questions. All right, I'm going back down.
Scrolling for me in chat does not work very well running all this stuff.
I know.
Right now, so.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday.
All right, Carbon's here with a decent one here. I'm going to call it decent because it's Carbon. No, I'm just kidding, Carbon. Carbon said, I also believe teams are exactly 5 and no subs. Do you think it's good to have no substitutes for the ESL part? So basically, like, for that week, is it going to be like a week-long CWL, do you think?
It would.
That's interesting, too.
I guess
do you think it's just going to be those, certain players and, if someone's struggling, you're just stuck with them? Or do you think there should be a subs allowed? I mean, what do you think? Do you guys, when someone's struggling in Dark Looters, do you, maybe bench them and put someone else in? Or do you guys just kind of run with your 15 guys?
So we have typically a roster of 17 to 18 people because, well, most of the CWL week is during midweek, which means most of the guys are working, they have exams, whatever. So they can't always play. So we always have to guys who can jump in, or for example, have a second account on the roster all the time just to make sure that if someone is missing out a hit or has no time to plan, I can just jump in and help out in that sense. Right. But I think for the 5v5, there are no substitutes needed in that sense. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Carbon's saying it's going to be 3 days. The 12. I feel like Carbon knows a lot more about this.
He's on top of his stuff. Huh?
Carbon actually knows what's going on. CWL's from the 1st to the 11th, and then ESL is 12th through the 14th. So like the tournament leading up to the finals. Okay, that makes sense. So what you're saying, Carbon, is do we think there should be no subs in the final 3 days? With it being 5 people, I feel like if that's what's going on, it should be, put up your best 5 people and kind of roll with it. I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I saw the chat. I just got caught up on the chatter and the one chat like last week. So
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I was like, "There's no way my clan's getting there. I'm not looking more into this."
I don't even have a clan, so I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
I mean, the realistic expectation for you though, Itsu, is that Dark Looters should be in the mix and hopefully playing those final 3 days, right? I mean, that's what you guys are working towards right now.
Yeah, sure. The goal is always to get into the offline qualifiers and then just try to give it your best. But I think the easiest way is to get into that is by playing the Superstar CWL week, because I feel like that's a lot of way easier than winning 9 wars in a row in that sense, like 5v5s. That's really tough. 12v12 is so hard right now. which means it's so much based on percentage, and it's really hard to, like I said, 9 wins in a row. It's incredible hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you never know. I mean, one clan could just absolutely steamroll your bases for whatever reason, have the drop on your bases, and maybe your bases work for whatever strategies they're really good with, and that could really play in their favor. So you're right, 9 in a row, that would be ridiculous.
We have T-Rex asking if we hate the Supercell CWL format with just one attack with no real scouts. Any of you guys want to jump into that, or should I?
I mean, I actually like it.
I
like the fact that you're not scouting bases, and I like it, the fact that it's first time hits. It really tests like if you're actually worth a crap or not. Mm-hmm. Let's be real here. I mean, if I go scout a base for you, you have a good idea on where the traps are at. You already know how to adjust and what strategy to take in and 3-star it. I mean, it just gets old really quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of strategy doing that, obviously, sending in your scouts, but it definitely is a different type of exciting when you have those limited number of attacks. It's definitely, even some of the best attackers you're gonna see more fails out of them because they're not getting those, lower town hall scouts in as well.
Yeah.
So Carbon said there's 2 qualifiers, 4 teams advance from the CWL, and 4 teams advance from the ESL. Those 8 teams compete in Poland from the 29th to the 31st every month for a chance at the World Finals. So it's kind of a mix between the two. That makes a lot more sense. See, Carbon knows his stuff here, guys. I'm telling you.
He does. I may take him in as the co-host moving forward.
I mean, I would fire me on the spot. Get Carbon's beautiful face up here. I mean, no one wants to look at this,
Stop that. We have Clash with Eric. And by the way, I said all the people that were here earlier on, and Clash with Eric has been here since the beginning of the stream. Does anyone know if you could take the ESL route into the tournament and CWL route at the same time? Or do you have to choose one or the other for the qualifier?
You can, like the CWL is first, which means if you qualify, like you send your top 5 guys, they can't take part anymore in the ESL. That's not possible. If you're not managing to qualify, then you can play the ESL. So that's possible.
Bad Speller says, I remember when Bash used to stream.
What's bad? I don't want to talk about it.
I see Bash is beautiful.
Look, every week I'm like, this is going to be the week. I'm going to start streaming again. Things are going to be great. And then I'm like, oh, man, these guys are on voice and I could really just BS with them all night. That sounds fun. One day we'll stream again.
Yeah.
So I like this question. I didn't catch the name. I got like half of the question copied. I think this is a good one for all 4 of us here. Is there a common base setup that gives you troubles while attacking, i.e. certain defenses laid out in a certain way or certain styles of wall setups? Is there something that gives you guys issues while you're attacking? We'll have you lead this one off. Is there anything like when you're attacking that you're like, oh, I don't want to hit that base?
Nothing, Itsu says. Nothing.
I don't know what that's like. I don't like bases where I have to rely on my warden too much, like bases where the town hall is kind of far back, for example. So I have to use the warden ability on the town hall because of the Giga Bomb. And it's a really long way until I can reach that town hall. So I have to like only rely on my warden to follow the loons. And this right now seems impossible. So this is just, it's like the worst nightmare right now, even though
Warden
I just
AI
love loon effects. So that's really unfortunate. And will be interesting to see if this happens on stage, if Supercell is doing anything then.
What about you, Joe? Anything? I know you're just getting back into the swing of things.
Considering I started warring again about 2 weeks ago, but we're going to go ahead and say everything. No, I'm just kidding.
If the base has defenses, I absolutely.
If it has defenses, I mean, if it has clan castle troops, I have problems. And I'm just joking. Island bases. That one kind of threw me off last week. I was like, I had to call a close confidant, and I was like, help me, please. What do I do with this? And she was like, use hogs. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Hogs are a thing.
Oh, yeah. So, but,
what about you, Echo? Anything giving you troubles these days?
Well, basically everything always gives me trouble, but I like to queen walk all the time. I just like using my queen. So anything that has air defenses that are set a little bit more into the base, but they can still reach my healers, there's something that's going to give me a problem, or I'm going to have to at least pay attention to. So, I mean, that's really it. That's all. That's the thing that I really try to avoid if I can.
I see a lot of like the island bases in chat, like the big 4 square, but I love those, especially if they're all the Infernos are set to single. I just bat Lalo the hell out of them. That's my bread and butter right now is bat Lalo. So for me, it's like 2 or 3 Infernos on a base, 2 or 3 Infernos set to multi. I'm like, oh, well, I actually have to like think about an attack. I can't just bat Lalo this. So the multi Infernos are kind of giving me a little bit of fits right now, but I'm trying to get better. And I've been working because I'm getting ready to push. I've been working on just doing like some Electron Lalo, just so I'm a little bit more versatile. But Lalo, Itsu kind of mentioned it. Lalo, especially with the Warden being so, it does not take much for the Warden to get distracted and follow some pups or follow the king. I don't know. I've been having some troubles with my Lalo, but I'm working on it. Bash with bats equals no skill. That's right, Crump. That's why I bat Lalo every time. Oh man.
We got a question for Joe. Even though you never stopped playing, you have sort of been gone for a year, sort of. What change in the game have you liked the most and the least?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Good one, Ward.
So as a casual player, what was a good change? I mean, I love the new troops. We had while I was out, it was E-Drag and the Ice Whip, Bat Spell, Town Hall 12. I mean, realistically speaking, the new Town Hall level was, the best update to come. But then, the surprising, what was it, Tornado Trap? That one kind of threw me off. I didn't even know it was on the map. I was like, whoa, what are they doing right now? Why are they spinning around in circles? So that was, but I wouldn't say there's anything that I dislike so far. I mean, each time I log in and go to record, I find something else that I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what is that? So I'm loving all of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the game's in a pretty good spot with the Tornado Trap, man. Such a wild card, but I feel like nothing's too crazy. I mean, Lalo's always good, but nothing's too crazy strong in my opinion right now.
Yeah.
No,
so
I think things are pretty clear.
Jim M is offering $150 to anyone that wants to live stream shaving their beard. I already declined them because my wife might leave me. So if any of you 3 boys want to do that,
no, yeah. See, I was clean shaven for 13 years in the military, so now that I'm out, you can forget it. I don't even know what a razor is.
I don't know the last time. Actually, I do know. I think it was 2012 or 13. I had just a little bit. Probably like an Echo beard, a little baby beard there.
You don't see
that? I see it, but I'm saying that's the last time that I didn't have something like this,
Well, see, my old lady's in the chat right now. She just said, don't even think about it.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Get him, wifey.
Yeah.
I like this question. This is from Karina, since we're all content creators here. Do you guys ever get bored trying to think of new ideas for COC videos, or even just like have a hard time thinking of new ideas? I mean, I do a lot of like Let's Play stuff, so I don't know. I run like 8 accounts, so I never really have any issues or get bored. Sometimes I'm like, I've done this before in the past, but that was 2 years ago. So YouTube, you got to kind of keep it fresh. I don't know. What about you guys? You guys ever get bored or have a hard time coming up with something new for a video?
Oh, I don't know. I was gone for a year, so I got a lot to build.
Wide open right there.
Okay, so if you want to go back to that time frame, you got to remember that was, I think it was December 2017. So it was like Town Hall 11 was all Bowlers and Witches or Lalo. It was so boring. And then CWL, it was like season 12 starts in like 2 weeks, and I'm like, we just finished the previous season. Can we get like 5 minutes to it just it's fun. But when you are a content creator and you're trying to play Bash, Echo, so you guys know how this goes. Like, you're trying to play, but you can't really like commit to both. And you're just like, you're split in between to where you're not even enjoying the game anymore. At least for me at the point where I was about to get out of the military. So I had a lot of stressors going on there too.
No, I think the same thing, man. I mean, participating in war and actually being able to put forth as much effort as you should in your wars and creating content and all that stuff.
Jim M with the $200.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Jim M. Let's
Jim,
get some love to Jim M in the
get that
chat,
hype
please.
in the chat. I admire your
Hype in the chat
resistance
for
to
that
bribes.
one.
Thank you,
Oh.
Jim, man. Thank you, buddy.
Get that hype, guys. If you guys have those hype emotes, definitely spam those out.
Holy snikes.
Oh, Jim.
I'd
Jim's a
use mine, but I'm
monster.
afraid
Let's
I'll
go.
crash the stream using the emotes. So I'm just gonna say thank you. We'll say it live. Thanks, Jim. Thank you,
And so
brother.
how about you? I mean, you do a lot of war and strategy based stuff. You ever have any hard times like coming up with new content or ideas?
Well, I try to concentrate on strategies, but if I run out of ideas, I will just do something more casually, like I don't know, like a farm guide or whatever, which isn't that war or strategy related. So
Right.
that's always like an escape route for me.
Yeah.
But normally, well, if you upload like a video 3 days ago about queen charges, after 3 days, someone will ask for a queen charge guide on it, like in the comments. So it's
Yeah.
always the same.
Yeah. I see that a lot too. It's like I do a lot of, farming and let's play, not as much strategy stuff as even though I love, warring and stuff, but my audience loves, just casual stuff. But, I'll get something like, hey, can you do the best attacks for this? I'm like, I literally just did that last week. Go watch this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Damien with a question. Bash, I have a question. If you were offered 50 grand, would you give away your accounts and stop Clash? 50 grand.
It would have to be more than 50 grand. It would have to be more than 50.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically 1 month's worth of YouTube revenue for you.
Oh my
50.
god.
So-
No, it is not. To be clear, chat, it is not. I do not make that much. Oh my goodness.
Sorry. That was confidential,
Trouble
wasn't it?
out here. It would definitely have to, if you don't know, I do YouTube full time. So it would have to be a number that I would be able to live comfortably for some amount of years. I don't know. What about you guys? Would you guys give up Clash to sell your accounts for $50,000?
No, it's not enough.
Not 50 grand.
Not now. I mean, I'm considering, we've been highly talking about going full time. So, I mean, I am a college student, so it's not like I don't have a job. I mean, I'm disabled, so I can, I could do this full time if I wanted to, and she's on board with it, but it's just a matter of dealing with school right now. But there's no way 50 grand is going to be enough.
Yeah, it's just not, especially this day and age. I don't know. What about you, Itsu? I
Yeah.
feel like that's going to be the same thing, right?
Nah, it would be pretty boring without Clash right now, I think.
That's another thing is like, whenever I'm playing games, I always come back to Clash no matter what, like play a game. I'm like, oh, I'm so bored with this, but I always come back to Clash. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Clash has got something about it. That's why it's been alive in one of the best mobile games for 6 years.
Now we're really talking. How about $500,000? Oh,
Yes, I would for $500,000. Yes, of course I would for that much money.
I would give that some strong consideration. I have to sit down with the accountant, the boss, the wife.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the wife, isn't it?
I got 2 kids. It would be 500,000 would be pretty close to the number.
Yeah. You invest it.
Yeah,
You'd be good to go.
Get a good investor and all that good stuff. And I don't.
500,000. I mean, yeah, of course. Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's all right. I had a question from Kyle L. Do any of you guys have any quality of life wish list items? Anything you want to see implemented into the game to make quality of life a little bit better? Itsu, Joe, you guys got anything?
I would like them to do. I mean, I'm used to it now, but I would like them to do something with the scroll, the attacking scroll. Like how they, like Town Hall 11 and 12. The higher you go up, there's stuff more spread out across the screen, and I gotta remember to go back and forth to get that raid spell.
Chief, they have that in the game. Look, go to your settings, go to more settings,
Where have you been?
Enable extended deployment bar in home village. That's already in game, Chief.
Who invited him on
the
the show?
What about you, Itsu? You got any quality of life you would want to see?
I don't know. I couldn't come up.
I'm all looking for
right
it
now.
I feel like the last set of quality of life things were really good. Being able to switch the warden and the siege mid raid. I like that a lot. That was my biggest thing, was the warden, like not being able to change the warden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the siege machine the same. But I think maybe one thing would be to upgrade walls with Dark Elixir, if that counts.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I don't need Dark anymore at all. So yeah, definitely.
You just sit there on max Dark Elixir. I agree with that.
Yeah, super
Carbon said,
annoying.
would love to be able to see war notes while in the scout view. Like what your clanmates put, that would be good. I also wouldn't mind
Mhm.
seeing something for Dark Elixir in the metal shop. Because there's elixir, there's gold, but there's nothing for dark elixir in the metal
Mhm.
shop, which, you know, that's something small, but for those town hall 9s and 10s, that could be huge.
I thought they brought that up like years ago about adding something to be upgraded with Dark Elixir other than heroes
I
and
feel
troops.
that's, you know, one of those things that's kind of always been around, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I
Now
was
I'm
just
looking
really
for what
happy,
you're
and this is
talking
a
about.
super casual one, but being able to move obstacles around, that was huge. I love that
Yes,
thing. I love
that
it.
was the one I was thinking of that I couldn't think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah,
Being able to move obstacles.
for the OCD people like me, looks good.
Oh yeah.
I had someone actually. He's excuse me. I'm not sure if he's in the chat right now or not, but he was. A question came to me today about someone starting YouTube, looking to do Clash of Clans, that whole thing. We hear it all the time. So why don't we have a little discussion about that right now? We got 4 of us in here that create content. If you can give, why don't we go around the table and give one tip or insider information about starting a YouTube channel specifically focused on Clash of Clans? What's one thing that you would tell somebody that you wish that you knew when you started Clash? So, who wants to take it?
Don't
Oh man.
try to like do something you're not like you don't enjoy. Enjoy what you're doing. This is for any kind of gaming, YouTube. Enjoy what content you're doing, because if you're forcing it or if you're not enjoying yourself, people are going to be able to tell that. You got to enjoy what you're doing and be yourself. It's going to take you a while to warm up and be able to have fun
Yeah.
on camera or talking to your phone or whatever the case may be. But the more you be yourself, the people enjoy authenticity. And it's also, don't expect to like explode with a 6-year-old, 7-year-old game. That would be
That's
Yeah.
a
my
good point.
advice.
That's a good. Although some people are doing really well right now.
Absolutely.
You
The game
know,
is super healthy, but that's, as many channels are starting, I feel like that's still rare to kind of blow up.
yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
you're not going to get anything like in the beginning.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
some people like making. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like even me right now, we had this conversation the other day, Fabi and I. Right now, I don't expect anything. Like even though there's a subscriber count of what it is, like I know that like YouTube is going to do this number right here, like real fast, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's really confused because I have been offline for a year, and even though the numbers are there, I don't expect to grow anytime soon. We got to get content back up. We got to get back into a pattern. And if I was to recommend one thing, do not spend a bunch of money until you are absolutely positive that you're going to do this. Like don't spend thousands of dollars on equipment until you're sure that you want to do this for a passion, hobby, full-time or whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Itsu, any advice for new people starting out?
I think one of the biggest things is to be close to your community. Like always read comments, always try to get in touch with them, and that's a really, really important thing.
I feel like one of the nice things about the Clash community also, not just like your specific community, is like as a creator community, a lot of people are pretty accessible and easy to be reached. So you can reach out to people. Don't be like, a nuisance, but if you are struggling with someone, people are around to help you out. Spoopy with that hot 5 though.
Yeah, he has some tips of
Yeah,
himself
yeah.
here for everybody.
Uh-huh.
Spooby says,
Read it out, Echo.
"I'm trying to get to it, but
Listen, I'm going to cut you off again, bud.
do it because it's." Oh, here we go. I got it. Don't expect views. Enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
Work consistently. Google Trends may show you that it's good, but it's getting saturated with an old game. So yeah, you can't. And I've learned that as well. You can't just go on Google Trends, see something that's hot, and expect to get, to do really great things with something that's hot. Remember, the hotter that something is, the harder it is to establish yourself in that space. So if you get a
Right.
game that
More
really
people
no
be
one
doing it.
plays and no one knows, you'll probably do better off in the beginning than on something that's just so like oversaturated, such as Fortnite or PUBG or something like that right now.
Yeah.
Another
yeah.
big advice for someone starting out: learn about SEO. Learn what SEO is and learn how to improve your SEO. Search engine optimization is huge on YouTube.
Yeah, thumbnails.
Also,
Thumbnails and titles, man.
Christian, I love my case. Easy to wire, easy to run everything, super clean. Sorry, I just want to answer that one real quick. NZXT cases are beautiful.
Do you the Dubs is asking, do you think you'd be able to do a channel just about Clash, or would you have to do other content to build it? The Dubs is asking that one, and from what I've been finding, and I've been actually looking a lot into this recently, it's very difficult to grow on YouTube with multiple pieces of content. Like doing multiple games at once. You're going to be building separate audiences at the same time, and sometimes audiences don't want to see things that they didn't subscribe for. So you'll get subscriber gain, subscriber loss, and a back and forth type thing. So the best way to gain subscribers and to build your channel is by doing one game. I don't know if it's the best way to solidify yourself in like the long run. I really don't know. I'm not there yet. I don't think any of us are, but it's definitely the way to grow the fastest, in my opinion. You agree, Bash?
Yeah. Unless you're like your community's built on what was that called, variety gaming or variety streaming, it's so hard to do multiple games. I see it a lot because I do COC with ROC, which I love ROC, but my ROC does nothing for me. Or even if I'm playing, something like I have a sponsored deal, it just does not do as well as COC because that's what I'm primarily based on. So I don't think it's a bad thing focusing on one game, but you also have to be aware that you have all your eggs in one basket, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Clash with Ash about a year ago. We were talking about adding, changing games or adding games to the channel and stuff, and it's really not a good idea if you're a smaller channel. Obviously once you're higher up over around 200,000, you can kind of bounce around a little bit, but your main base as a young YouTube channel, they're there for one reason. They don't want to see any other games on your channel. And it's a gamble if you try to start introducing something too early.
Right. Absolutely. I just got to talk to Christian real quick. Once timeout, guys. Timeout. Christian, I wanted my case to be a part of my setup, so that's why I upgraded to something like that case there, the 700. But I also upgraded to the 9700K. Love it. 32 gigabytes RAM. My next upgrade is going to be a graphics card. I think I'm going to go 2080. I got a 1070 in there. Anyways, we're moving on.
Big money over here. Big. It's like this.
I'm not doing it. I haven't pulled the trigger because of how much it costs.
Listen, Joe, if you were pulling in 50K a month, man.
Oh my god.
I know.
It's $47.95, but whatever.
Whoa.
So there's some good tips. I mean, and that's really a question that comes through every single time, people asking about if they were to start. Infantry or cavalry? So we have a Rise of Civilizations question. What's your favorite? And are you guys... I don't really know what that says. Are you guys free to play? What should they focus on for cavalry infantry? I personally like cavalry only because Cao Cao is my strongest commander. I maxed him out last week, and he gets that cavalry buff.
But if you're being free to play, odds are you're not going to have.
No, I agree. I mean,
but there's a lot of good epic commanders that work for both, honestly.
And Jim M's tip is see the doctor if it hurts when you pee. It came through a donation. It has to be said. Thanks again, Jim. You should definitely go to the doctor. Being a health teacher.
Absolutely, Jim. Absolutely.
It's usually an easy fix, too. Just a little antibiotic. Works every time.
Personal experience there, Echo? All right, real quick, since Jim is donating, and I saw Jim and Itsu kind of having a little bit of a conversation there in German. Itsu, you're bilingual. Is German your native language? And if so, does it... I think you do a lot of stuff normally in German, like when I tune in and see you streaming and stuff. Is it hard for you to do stuff in English, or you just prefer to stick to like your native language? I don't know. Is there like a preference thing there? I only speak one language, so I'm like kind of oblivious to it. That's why I'm asking.
So yeah, German is like my native language, and I think I could do my videos in English as well. But the bigger issue is that I always try to get the viewers into my clan, which means I do a lot of live streaming, planning with the guys together and all this. And if they have to like speak English on stream with me just so like everyone can listen whatsoever, it would be really strange. And I started the channel with doing English and German, and it's always really strange because all of the English viewers say, go English, you will get way more views whatsoever. And the German guys say, stick to your roots, do more German content. And it's really tricky. So at one point I thought there's like this option to be one English YouTuber, like one of many, or the biggest war community YouTuber in Germany. And at that point, I decided to stick to German. And since then, I had no reason to change that. That's the reason for that.
That makes a ton of sense, and that's kind of
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking. I thought maybe just it was just easier for you to speak German, but you're right. Be the biggest German guy or be one of many. I never really thought of it that way. Look at Itsu dropping knowledge bombs on us, guys.
I'm over here like.
It makes a ton of sense though. That clarifies a lot for me because I just wondered. Obviously, I'm just hey, I speak English. I speak American, so
American.
I didn't know if it was like a ease thing. So that makes sense because I have heard, when we're doing stuff. I heard some of you Dark Looters guys on. I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's always the down part, that I think I could reach way more people with speaking English.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it's already too late to do this change. But I don't know, maybe when Worlds is coming up and we actually make it into like one of the spots for Clash Worlds, then might be a possibility to change the language.
Right.
But except that, there's like no reason to do that, in my opinion.
I get you. No, I completely respect that and understand. Carbon says if he could understand you, he would be able to queen walk. Matt Allen with a 199. Let's go. Donations coming in.
Thank you, brother. We have Starhawk Rifter asking, any tips on changing attack strategy so you're not only using E-drag spam?
Practice. Friendly challenges.
Practice and friendly challenges to be the answer.
That's you have to practice. You're not just going to pick up any strategy and be good with it, in my opinion.
No.
I'm sure Itsu probably puts in hours and hours of practice to get it to be as good as he is. I mean, I'm mediocre and practice a ton.
Yeah, you have to practice a lot and test new stuff. Like when you're testing it in friendly challenges, for example, you notice when an attack is strong, like weaknesses you can abuse in the base. Like if it's a really compact base, obviously you can go with E-drags when they're like really nice bounces and your E-drags are in the middle. Right before they attack the eagle, you put a rage down, and after, like in the next second, the entire base is gone because all of the zaps. So that's always nice. And then if like the bases are more spread out, what to use and all this. So that's kind of the key in that sense. At the same time, you understand better how base building works, which is like the next part.
Yeah.
And this is like step by step building the knowledge.
Yeah, it's a lot of just time and effort. You got to want to get better, in my opinion. You're not just going to get better.
Yeah, you do.
That's why friendly challenges are amazing. I think when you go outside of what?
Imagine the game. Remember the game when we didn't have friendly challenges?
Yeah.
Like, how do people learn stuff? Like, you literally just have to try to
farm
more and
when you're farming.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like
that's such a horrible notion, because then people are like, I practiced by farming and I 3-starred 16 bases in a row, and then they go
with no
1-star in war.
troops.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder though, like clans that war but aren't like intense, huge clans, do they actually do friendly challenges, or is it really just utilized by really serious clans? I bet you that there's so many more people that don't utilize friendly challenges than people that do.
I can attest. I feel like my clan is in exactly what you specified. We have some guys that will, and guys that'll just yellow it and wonder why they're struggling. So I feel like it's an effort thing if you want to try to get better, and I've been kind of frustrated with that. But I get it. Real life happens, stuff outside the game happens, so it's not always easy just to put in 2 hours, hour to just sit there and FC the same base over and over and work on things.
Right. We have T-Rex
with the 499.
Yeah, thank you for the donation, man. And it's a great question too. How much of other content creators do you actually watch? And I'll start. I don't really watch much Clash of Clans content because I play a lot and I make a lot, and I don't have time to sit there and watch it. And I mean, I feel like I don't really want to sit there and watch much Clash of Clans, to be honest. I mean, that's the brutal truth. I will stop into people's live streams. I'll stop into people's videos to say what's up and give some support. But do I sit there and tune into Clash of Clans content creator every day, showing just watching through the whole video? I really don't. Are you guys in the same boat as me, or are you avid watchers of Clash content?
The only content creators I watch are Echo Gaming, Clash Attacks with Joe, and Itsu.
Yeah. Well, those are probably 3 of the 4 best on the internet right now. So that's not bad. Not a bad choice.
I'm in the same boat with you. I play Clash probably 8 to 12 hours a day. It's my job. I have to. Not that I have to. I mean, there's days, obviously, I don't always do that. But I play Clash a lot. So unless I need to learn something, Clash isn't my go-to. I'll end up watching, like cooking shows or just random stuff on YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
Joe?
Yeah. I mean, now that I'm recording again, not really. And when I first, like 2 weeks ago, when I was kind of like, what's going on in the game? I watched Echo and I watched Bash and I watched Judo. Those were like my main go-tos. And it was like, because those are the names I remember, and I didn't know what the larger guys were doing anymore. And, but now, I'll bounce into streams, I'll throw some, some emotes up, and then, I got to obviously get back to work. So.
And Itsu, do you watch everything?
No, not really.
No.
But I actually watch a lot of like Clash of Clans YouTube, but it's for me mainly I'm picking different recaps, for example. And if I watch Clash of Clans, it's mainly for strategy-wise, like Asian videos, for example, because the meta over there could be different. So I want to like always one step ahead, if that makes sense, like in base building, attacking, try new stuff, and all this. So that's what I do. But except that, I obviously watch a lot of other stuff on YouTube as well.
Yeah, me too. I've been getting into vlogs lately, like professional vloggers, like these people that are really crazy good with cameras and stuff. I don't know. It's been entertaining for me. It's like my new thing.
I love watching Casey Neistat vlogs.
That was
he's one of the ones I watch.
Thing.
Yeah, it's so funny.
That's my motivation to come back.
Yeah.
I thought I was, so bro.
Good.
Thought it was a trap. I thought it was a trap.
What's the obsession with people wanting us to shave today? It's so weird in chat today.
I mean, I love you guys, but it's not happening.
It's so weird. You guys are so random sometimes. I mean, I love you all, but that's so unreasonable.
I think it all started with Goon, man. Everyone always wanted Goon to shave on the trap.
Is that what it is?
I think it's just an ongoing thing.
Hold on, Goon? Who?
Yeah, the cleric guy.
I missed that guy.
Yeah, I know, so do I. We gotta have him back on one day just to be here
for good old times. Flashback says, Itsu, did you watch the CWL finals by Forever versus Bangladesh, which I heard was a great stream. I was out, did not get to catch any. Itsu, did you get to catch any of that?
I don't want to lie. I wasn't so interested at all.
At least you're honest. I mean,
I'm looking for Tower 12 content and like no throne at all, but I knew what would happen. So it's tricky. It's tricky. I don't know.
I respect you answering honestly instead of like, yeah, I loved it. I watched every moment of it.
I tuned in, saw the first dip fail, and no.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense for you, though. I mean, you're gearing up for a huge 12v12 event, so that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Bangladesh won. Well, we're getting close to the end of the stream, guys.
A little bit of percent, right?
I don't know the final score, but
I feel like it was just a few percentage points, not much. Check. I'm on it.
Guys, if you have any last questions, we could do a quick, scroll through the chat to get them. If not, we're about to start closing up shop, saying our thank yous and all the, the generic we love using stuff at the end. But
less than 1% was 0.72%. Bangladesh won 116 with 97.6 to 116 97.88.
Wow.
So pretty good over there. But I believe, and let me click on the stats, I believe there is 0 12v12s, which kind of backs up what Itzy was saying.
On both sides of the war, there was 0 12v12s?
Yeah, Bangladesh went
Wow.
0 for 4 12v12. Buy Forever went 0 for 3 12v12.
Oh wow.
4 for 4 12v11 dips for Bangladesh. 3 for 5 12v11 dips for Buy Forever. So not a lot of 12v12 action, which is kind of interesting. But they don't run heavy 12 breakdowns in CWL. Only 4 12s, 13 11s, 23 10s. 23 10s?
Holy cow, that's like basically the 9s back in.
That's ridiculous.
But that's like one of the
Please
main
ask your
reasons why
wife.
I don't enjoy CWL anymore. Like too many power levels who can actually just screw up the war and not win you the war.
Yeah.
And that is so frustrating. So I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. If your 10s or 11s are missing and then you have to commit so many dips as a higher town hall, it's just going to be so frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially
I'm
after tasting the 15v15 one attack format with only town 12s, it's so much different and in my opinion so much more fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard.
AKP is asking about the Dragon Dance event. 3 of us did actually. Clash Bashing just highlighted it today. His video went out. I streamed it, and following me, Joe streamed it. And I'm actually going to make a video on the stream as well. That's going to probably be out in, I don't know, 2 days. It's getting edited up right now.
published
I forgot about
the
that.
recap of some of the top attacks from each town hall level.
It was kind of cool because top attacks weren't actually about being good attacks at all. It was about that dragon.
Yeah, just keep those dragons alive.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. So
I like that event. I don't know. I kind of want to do something like that with some of my supporters.
Yeah, I think you could. And I see another question. Can you name all the COC YouTubers who are here right now with the COC troop? I don't really know what he's... So, he's trying to say, what do we look like?
I think he wants to compare us to troops.
I got you. Okay. We don't have to do that.
Well, everyone's going to say I'm the giant. That's the obvious one.
I really had to think about that for a second.
That's the obvious one. I mean, I get paid. You know how they talked about the 50,000 a month? Part of that is royalties from COC because I'm the model for the giant. Not a lot of people know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
royalties.
That makes sense.
You don't know. Literally every day, I probably get 20 comments. You look like a level 7 giant. Thanks, buddy. I never heard that one before. I embrace it, though. I mean, I get it. I'm not the best to look at, but, you keep watching. Make sure you don't skip those ads, and we'll be all right.
Turn off ad block.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna...
Itsu is a wizard. Itsu does kind of look like a wizard. You put a robe on Itsu... Oh, Itsu would definitely look like the wizard.
Yeah.
Good.
Throw it a fireball. Joe kind of looks like a Valkyrie. No offense, Joe.
He looks like the barbarian, man.
Jesus.
I
I'm gonna give you Goblin. I don't know why, Echo, but you can be a Goblin.
Thanks, man. That's nice.
To be fair, Goblin's one of my favorite troops.
That is true. That is true. Did everyone complete those events in the game?
Absolutely.
There were 3 events.
One of my.
I haven't finished yet.
I did one. I saw that, Bash.
I threw out like everything in one army and just did it 10 times.
I started with the Electro Dragon. I was about halfway through, and I saw you doing that. And I'm like, well, that is smart. So I just followed suit.
Wait a second. You mean I could just throw everything into one raid?
Who would have thought of that but you, Bash? So many
Question
rewards.
for Joe. How do you ask a girl out in Clash of Clans from Spooby?
How do you ask a girl out in Clash of Clans?
Spooby.
I tried to tell you to ban Spooby before the stream started.
Well, since my girl's in the chat right now, I'd rather not. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
That's why
you just fell into that
trap,
trap, Joe.
Oh, man.
That's funny. Oh, God.
See, say careful.
This is the real question. Oh, my God, Spooby.
All right.
Oh.
I think we're getting out of here. Or do you have something else to say, Bash?
Oh, no. I was just going to just BS a little bit more. That's what I'm good at, is just BSing.
Would you like to?
I was just going to ask Itsu, like, when you go over, because I've obviously never been invited. But when you go over for like, the live CWL streams or the live huge big event streams, do you feel like that? I mean, we kind of touched on this, but do you feel more pressure with all those eyes, because it's a live event? I'm sure you got like directors and stuff yelling at you and stuff. Do you feel like it's more intense to attack live during a Supercell event? Like for instance, when you do or get a chance to go over for the ESL, well, you guys were there for the CWL thing, weren't you? But does it add more pressure attacking live on like the stage that's being broadcast? Do you feel that?
Yes, you can feel that for sure, because normally you're always in range of the casters, which means you can hear what they're talking about,
Yeah.
which is like the first thing. And then most of us have like a routine. When you're attacking, you like sit down, I don't know, go to a toilet, wait 15 minutes before you attack,
Right.
have a
Yeah.
drink, whatever you do. And so that's completely different. If someone's saying attack now, you have to attack immediately. So for example, for the CWL stream, the first October live stream for the in-game War League, it was always that one of these admins was on our voice and said, Itsu, leave check, whatever, attack now. And you had to immediately attack. Like as soon as he said that, you had to go live, which is completely different when you're like at home and you think like, yeah, maybe I should change this
Right.
cube to Baby Dragon, whatever, and the wizard is maybe a little bit too risky to funnel. It's not possible anymore. So it's different. It's
that's
way
crazy.
more pressure, and I think that will be a huge thing in the offline qualifiers for the ESL for everyone who is doing this the first time, like attacking on a live stream, something similar to that. So this will be a huge difference, and if we can go, like if we will make it, it will be a huge boost or like.
Right, because you guys have been over there quite a few times, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even think about that's something we don't see like as the viewer is, they're probably like, hey, you're up, get in there, get your attack going. I didn't even think about that because, like you said, when I'm ready to attack, I'm watching that replay one more time. I'm scouting the base, making sure this. But man, that would be rough.
I was gonna ask that same question. How in the world has Bash not been over there? Why haven't you
we
gone?
have theories on this, but we won't dive into that. We won't dive into
offline.
that. If my time comes, great. If not, I'm okay with it. Made it this far without.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're not okay with it, Bash. We all want you there.
That's I've come to terms with it. I feel like it's not going to happen at this point, but that's Echo, you're coming up on 100K. You got any big plans, bud? Quickly change that subject off before I get in trouble.
It's like this. It's salty.
No, I am 100% okay with not being invited. I have been salty in the past, but I've come to terms with it and realized that that's if it happens, great. If not, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. You're doing big things right from that chair right there.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You're
exactly.
Really doing well. You are.
I'm not trying to be like a prick or cocky or anything, but I've gotten a 200K without him. I don't need to go.
Yeah.
200K makes my 100. I'm coming up on something.
Look,
small.
Man, I was trying to divert. Damn it! I wanted to divert to you.
I know you did. It's funny though. So I am coming up on 100K, and
why are we flexing sub counts right now?
It's funny though. Like, first of all, things have slowed down so much, but like I'm excited about 100,000. That's like the first like huge milestone with YouTube, and then like I'm thinking about it, and then I'm watching Twitter and Powerbang hitting 1 million. I'm like, well, that just makes me feel just so tiny. It makes it feel like absolutely nothing. Like that man.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah.
Talk about a guy that just makes a jump, completely not sure where it's going to take him, and just seeing so much success. So yeah, I'm proud of him too.
Yeah.
Doing amazing stuff. 1 million subs.
Went all in and it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, and it was within a year. Has he been doing PUBG for a year now? Just about.
Probably just about. Yeah. I remember the conversation with him and Ash, like we were talking about that. Mm-hmm. But it was supposed to be Brawl Stars, and then all of a sudden PUBG, and it was PUBG from then on out.
Yeah, Brawl Stars kept getting pushed back. I feel like that messed up a lot of people's plans.
Yeah.
But is he like? Are there any other content creators that you could look at and say PUBG like has done them amazing? Because I really can't think of any that are doing, I mean, maybe not as well as him because he's clearly doing the best out of everyone doing PUBG, but most people that go to PUBG really struggle to get their traction. I don't know.
Yeah, he absolutely. I mean, he's like the face of the game.
He sure is.
Yeah,
I agree. But
But
all right,
I mean, that's amazing.
Bash, I'm gonna give it to you.
Echo, seriously, hold on. No, you're not getting out. You got any good plans for 100K?
No,
I'm happy for you, man.
I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy too. 100K is gonna be really cool. I have a special video that I'm planning. I've been thinking about it forever. You know, everyone, when you start to realize that you're doing okay on YouTube, you think about what am I going to do for my 100K video. So I have something planned. I think is going to be fun and enjoyable for everyone to watch. Big thank yous and you know, heartfelt stuff coming from me. It's going to be sappy. Get your tissues ready to be you know, tear up and all that. But yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. I don't really know yet. We haven't. I mean, as soon as I started thinking about we're getting to 100K, like, subs have slowed down so much, and it's like this is never gonna come, but it will be here, and it's gonna be cool when it finally does. But Bash, we're out of here, brother. Why don't you say your goodbyes?
Hey, appreciate you guys coming to hanging out. Itsu, thanks for putting up with me pestering you with my annoying questions. No, but in all seriousness, thanks for coming out, guys. Joe, welcome back to the scene. Glad to have you back. Itsu, keep killing it, man. You guys do incredible stuff over there in Dark Looters. Everyone in chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Love you guys all for always just supporting the Spring Trap. Whenever we decide to do it, the schedule is always kind of weird, but nothing but love for everyone. I don't know, Joe, you got any parting words?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It's actually really great to see you and speak to you. And then to the chat, obviously the bulk of them don't even know who I am. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys hanging out. You'll be seeing content by the channel. But again, much love for Echo, Bash, and Itsu.
Yep.
Itsu, any parting words, bud?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me as well. Glad to be here with you guys. And yeah, Sunny, I see you.
Yeah, guys, it was a pleasure to have all three of you on the channel. As usual, it's always a good show, always a fun show, and always casual. And again, thanks to everyone in the chat. Without your questions and stuff, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. So thank you for continuously supporting the Trap, whether it's once a month, once every other month, or bi-weekly. Last week was my fault. I was sick, and as you could tell, I'm probably holding back my coughs right now. But trying to get through the show. We're trying to do a bi-weekly thing just to keep it consistent with you guys. So hopefully we see you back here in another 2 weeks. We will definitely have announcements in the future. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the donations that came through, all you guys supporting in the chat, and all that great stuff. So we're out of here for now. Take care, guys. Be good.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.